Right, we are live. Good evening. I'm attorney Vince Davis, and this is The Secret: How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm joined by some very special guests tonight. The first one is Miss Cassandra Woodard. Cassandra, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for joining us. Miss G, Georgette Truen. Miss Truen, how are you doing this evening? Something wrong with your volume?
I think she just gave you a thumbs up.
Oh, I can't get a regular answer from her?
I don't know. I don't speak for Miss G.
What?
I said I don't speak for Miss G. So
Oh, apparently she's not speaking either.
yeah.
Miss G,
I was speaking, but okay,
I said, how are you doing this evening, Miss G?
just lovely.
Good. And we have some very special guests. Is it Rob and Michelle or Rob Michelle?
Rob and Michelle.
Rob and Michelle. Okay. How are you guys doing?
Just fine. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
Good. What state are you guys in?
Upstate New York.
Oh, in New York.
By Syracuse, New York.
Okay, very good. It's good to see you. You have some relationship to CPS, apparently.
Yes, wanted it back in 2018.
Yeah.
It started back in 2018. We lost our kids due to us being under the influence. So they asked us to do everything, like we had to do outpatient, just basically counseling and family counseling, and we have completed all that back in 2018 within 3 months. We went back to the judge, and the judge gave us the kids back, and ever since then CPS been open water.
Actually, that judge in particular gave us a standing ovation in his whole courtroom. It's the first time I've ever seen a judge do that. And he congratulated us on how well we did, and and just wished us the best. And they kind of, I'm not sure, but to me, seemed like it went against the CPS lawyer that was there. So then, is short time after that, somebody had filled out a report, turned us in, and said that we were under the influence with our child. And the caseworker in particular showed up. We weren't home. So that, we missed him 3 times, or twice. We missed him twice. The third time, the babysitter was here with him.
3 years ago, yeah.
3 years ago. And the lawyer, the CPS worker said that the babysitter was under the influence, and that me and her, we were gone for, could have been overnight, but we were talking about coming back where we were going. We weren't going to stay overnight. So we got a phone call. We instantly stopped what we were doing, turned around, and come back. And at that point, the babysitter had already let the CPS worker take possession of our child. And we had to have other friends come and get our child. So we explained to them that they go to pick up the child and go to her mom's house, and we'd meet them there. Well, long story short, we went by. They came, they did all that. The caseworker okayed them to get in the car and leave with these people. We went by where the particular spot that the caseworker and us knew. We both said to the babysitter not to bring our child. Lo and behold, where'd they take her? Right to that same spot. And we drove by to make sure, and there was a caseworker, us, and so we stopped to get our child, and he was like, "No, you're not taking the child." I'm like, "Why am I not taking my child? We're here. We're not under the influence. We're not nothing. I want my child." And I've had the worst time, because it's hard to trust people with these caseworkers, they see one thing, but then it's by the time it lands to the judge, it's something totally different, and there's nothing we can do. No matter what I say or what I do, I'm always the bad guy, and she's left it fall, going, what did we do so wrong?
We completed for 3 years. I gave him a stay. My outpatient lady gave him something to judge 3 years of urine screen. I mean, everything we've completed. Outpatient, we completed family counseling, and she just kept on adding and just got to a point where and my daughter got molested in their care and sent her right back to the same place. I mean, it's been going ongoing issue. I mean,
she's been put in danger more than we had ever put her in any kind of danger. We thought by getting a babysitter, because where we were going wasn't appropriate for children, there's going to be alcohol, and I don't want my daughter around that stuff. So we got a babysitter. Our babysitter she gets a disability because she has a nervous condition. I tried explaining that at the emergency removal, but because I was just stepdad, when we walked into court, they just said, "You, Mr. Dale, your stepdad, sit in the corner and shut your mouth." That's what the judge told me, and that was what I got to say for the emergency removal. Now, at that point, the emergency removal, 2 hours before that, the caseworkers came to our house and demanded us to do a piss test.
So we can get our kid back.
She said, you give us a clean urine screen, you can have your child back. Me being pig-headed and stubborn, I threw him out of the yard and told him, no, go get my child now. You can't come to my house and demand a urine screen. No. And an hour later, my wife convinced me to go do that. We did that. We did the urine screens. They had them instantly faxed to court and to the caseworker, showing that we were clean, weren't using. For what reason are they taking my child? And it just came at that point. The caseworker said, "Yep, I got them. They're right here." She said, "But now we're doing the emergency removal. You got to be at court at 3:00. We went to court. Me and my wife was not allowed to speak, not one word. Sit there and listen to everything bad that I have ever done in my whole life. And then say,
no, they said
the judge said, well, this case has been open for 2 years at this point. They haven't done anything. Now, I couldn't speak up and say, yes, Your Honor, I have completed everything. She was weeks to closing the case. And because we couldn't say nothing, we had to let that go. But the judge was looking at it that we never did, not one program or anything. So we really looked bad in his eyes. Now, at that point, the lawyers never spoke up and said, wait a minute, Your Honor. These two have completed everything we've asked them to do. They're not using. They're not, it just, I really feel like we got railroaded here.
Well, first of all, hold on a second. Let me ask you something. Was it one child we're talking about or more than one child?
Yes, one.
Our youngest.
Okay. Do you have that child in your custody now?
No. They took my parental rights away from me. I took it to trial and they asked me over 10 times to sign my rights over. I said no, and because I wouldn't sign my rights over, they took my rights away.
When did this happen? When did you lose your parental rights?
2020.
No, the rights I lost a couple months ago.
Oh, they took the baby June 17, 2020. The rights were just like 60 days ago.
Did you file an appeal?
Yes. Well, yeah. I did, and I'm still trying to contact my lawyer, my attorney, but my attorney keeps telling me it's up to the the state. Yeah. And then I called the state, but the state says, no, your attorney's supposed to.
I think
your attorney's supposed to file something.
There's nothing we can do at all but just hope and pray that our daughter comes to us when she's 18.
Okay, but hold on a second. I asked if there was an appeal filed. At first, I thought you said yes, but now it seems to me like
no, yeah. But I called my attorney. My attorney told me, yeah, I already filed it. I did an emergency one. So then I called her back and said, you know what's going on with the appeal? And she goes, no. She goes, I had to call some number.
She had to file a motion. She was supposed to file a motion, and she gave the lady gave her a number to call to give to her lawyer to have her lawyer call to file a motion or something that she had failed to do.
And I've called her all day yesterday and she didn't pick up. So
I think they're all in it together, and it's
just a big corruption going around here.
It's just what I see. I mean,
Okay, so you don't have an appeal that's filed.
Well, we think we do, and the lawyer says we do.
Yeah, my lawyer said,
Have we signed it? No.
We haven't signed it or seen it, but my lawyer says that she did do the appeal.
Okay, so let me suggest this to you. Do you have your attorney's email address?
No, I got her number.
A mobile number or landline?
I like her office number.
Her office number, landline.
So, I don't know if it's like this in New York, but it's like this in California. Every lawyer is supposed to have an email address. All right. So you should call or go online and try to look her up, your attorney up, on a website, maybe the New York Bar website, and see if she has an email listed there.
Okay.
If she doesn't have an email, I would send her a certified letter asking for a copy of the paperwork, the appeal to prove that it was filed.
Okay.
In California, and I don't know if it's like this in New York where you are, once you file a notice of appeal, generally, if you don't hire a private attorney to do it, the state appoints you a court-appointed appellate attorney. I don't know if it's like that in New York, but
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
She told me. I told her she was gonna do my appeal, and she was nope. They assign you. They give you their own attorney. So
okay, good. So you just need to make sure that it was filed on time, and you can only do that by getting a response from her and getting a copy of the appeal, the notice of appeal that was filed. Okay.
Yeah. I know my husband hasn't. We haven't talked to Jelena. What year?
2 years.
Almost 2 years. My visits with her was, crucial. I would go see her and she would cry. I would have to face the camera. The camera would be facing the wall, and if my daughter would say something to me, I couldn't say nothing back to her.
The visits more consisted of. For last year, is for my daughter when she had to seek counseling, where she's at now. The foster mother would take her. During counseling, they would do a camcorder at the wall, and nobody could see each other, and we weren't allowed to speak in at all. We could just sit and listen to the wall and hear our daughter play in the background, and we weren't allowed to say anything, and they call that a visit.
Okay, Rob, hold on a second. From what you're telling me, it seems like your child was just legally kidnapped.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, because when we went to the first emergency removal, the judge asked the TPS worker. He said, "Were Michelle and Robert under the influence?" And they're like, "No." So when we went to the second trial, they said we're so intoxicated or
incapacitated that we couldn't even hold conversation. Now, if that's the case, for one, there was troopers there. Two, they let us get in our vehicle and drive away. If we were that incapacitated, there was a caseworker and a New York State trooper standing right there. Why would they allow us to get in our vehicle and drive past them to get out? They have made up so many lies for my reputation. As soon as I see the judge, no matter it goes bad right there.
We had like what? I had like probably 6 or 7 trials, all with the same questions. And I
don't understand this is family court. When she did her trial, it was 20 or 23 people had something to say against either myself or my wife, but we weren't allowed, not one person, to stand and say, you know what? I know these people. I know they eat dinner every night at the kitchen table. I know they have clean clothes. I know that, they have a clean house. They have a place to live for the last 5 years, within the school's right down the street. Nothing to say one good word about us, but they couldn't praise this foster mother enough that they don't even know.
Okay, Rob, let me ask you this. Are you the father of this child?
I am the stepfather to that child. That child knows no other.
Okay.
My daughter.
Hold on. Did anybody ever advise you to file any type of motion so that you could be maybe declared the presumed father or a de facto parent?
No, we were going to adopt, and it just like I said, this has been going on since 2018. In 2017, we talked about adopting because she only knows me, and her real father is deceased. So, and when we talked about it with the caseworker. She's been in our life for, Jesus, she's like one of the pets around here. She comes and goes whenever she wants. And
well, do you have other kids?
She said that there was.
Hold on, Rob. Do you have other children in your custody?
At that time, no. We have other children, but
Rob,
my children are grown.
That was our only baby. That's like our last one.
That's the last one.
Okay, well,
rest are paid for.
Were any relatives ever looked at in placing the child with?
They said that she wasn't allowed to go to no relatives.
I tried my mom, and my mom found.
Wait. Because you're doing something. You're using the word she. It's a pronoun. Let's not use pronouns. Who's she?
No, I said we tried. They wouldn't allow us to let her go with no other relatives.
Who's they?
The judge, the lawyer, worker. The CPS workers, the lawyer for my daughter.
Wait. Are you telling me the judge said that your child can't go with a relative?
You heard? Absolutely. Said she's fine right where she's staying. She can stay right where she's at in foster home, living with strangers versus family.
Because my mom had filed because I told my mom if she could come up here, she's from Pennsylvania, to take custody of our daughter. And
was that early on in the case?
Yes. So my mom,
like 26 months ago.
My mom came up.
In the beginning, we tried this.
Have you considered maybe talking to a lawyer about some type of civil rights lawsuit?
Yeah, and people from up here, like I talked to two lawyers in Albany.
Yeah, we talked to a few lawyers, but we don't have funding for a lawyer. And that's where we're standing with that. It's guys on the street, they all want $7,000, $10,000. Well, I don't have that kind of money. If I had that kind of money, I'd have my daughter.
I wish you weren't in New York. I wish you were more local. Probably help you.
They severely like when we signed the paper, like we had a trial, and I don't understand this. They give you a choice of what charge you want to take. I go, excuse me? I don't want any of them. I'm not taking any of them. So I signed it under duress. I said, it's the only way I'll agree to any of this is duress after that. I said, because what you're saying didn't happen. So therefore you want me to admit guilt to something that didn't happen. And I got very short-tempered with it, and I hung up on them. It was during COVID.
They didn't have when we went to trial. They didn't have no evidence, no proof, no nothing.
They had a statement from a known drug addict.
And that's it, and that's how we lost. They didn't have.
We lost before we even went into court. My lawyer stood in front of me with a CPS badge on, saying, "Hi, I'm your lawyer." I said, "Oh, great. Don't you want to talk to me?" She goes, "No, I read the report. I know what it's all about." Oh, so because you read it, that's the way it is. And it was before we even went into court. At the time of the emergency removal, the caseworker failed to let the judge or her lawyer know that we have completed everything. There was not another program to complete.
Well, she went the next day. She said
I
she
called
forgot.
her on it after we got out of court. I instantly called the caseworker.
I dropped one.
She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I dropped the ball on that one. I'll fax them tomorrow." Well, that's great because you've already got my kid in foster care. You know what I mean? It's to me that's where they stole my child. And anything that happened beyond that point, you're damn right I'm angry. And that's what they keep saying. Well, look how angry you are. What man wouldn't I be? If I don't get angry because you take my child, and I'm not a father. I'm not a dad. I'm very angry at the system, and I don't. They're corrupt. They straight kidnapped our child and took her legally. Give her 3 years of urine screens, outpatient treatment, counseling, family counseling, counseling for your child, counseling at home. They had a lady come in. This is how funny it gets. A lady come in to teach us how to play board games that we bought for our child. Now, why would I buy my daughter a board game if I don't play it with her or teach me how to play? Come on, they just ain't treat me like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? They to the point DSS bought my family dinner because we were doing so good, because I used to laugh and joke with the caseworker every time she came. I go, "Oh, you didn't bring dinner?" Because she show up every time we're cooking dinner. And I'm like, "Oh, why didn't you bring some chicken wings?" And we laughed and joked with her for 6-7 months. Eventually, she brought us a certificate of dinner for the family for pizza and wings because we were doing so well. But then go to court and say, they're not good parents. We shouldn't return our child to them. Come on. It's just out of control. Like, she wrote a statement one day. I nicked my finger from sharpening it with a pocket knife. I sharpened my pocket knife and I nicked my finger. She showed up and I was in the middle of sharpening my knife. She wrote it to the judge that I was cutting myself profusely due to the conversation we was having. Now, that's a straight lie. Every bit of it's a lie. 100% lie. And it ain't the only one. I could go on and on and on and about it. And I just don't understand why. What did I do so wrong in life that deserves this? The last 3 years, I've not said hi or bye to my child, but one phone call, and that was on a recording. I don't think they ever even let my daughter listen to it.
Every visit we seen her, she would cry, "When can I come
Please,
home?
I just want to go home. I want to go home."
I mean, every visit that we had to virtual because of COVID, she would whisper on the phone, "I can't wait to visit because I gotta tell you something."
Yeah.
And every time we get to visit, the kids are hitting her. She's getting in trouble. The one of the foster dad touched her, and I mean, they held her down so tight because she reported that the guy touched her. They sent her back to the same house, and they physically held her down, restrained her until she stopped breathing.
That night she was put in the hospital
for 2 days.
The same day she reported the incident, that night she was taken to upstate hospital.
Saying that she was so crazy, and they left her in it for 2 days, and no one could go up there and see her.
And the system can't put 2 and 2 together? I mean,
No.
They don't even look at it. They don't even care to.
Miss Cassandra, what do you think about the situation?
It's heartbreaking. Like, just hearing that right now, that was just heartbreaking.
Any suggestions for these folks? Miss G?
I remember when we did.
I honestly feel that you should be, you should consider finding a civil attorney, because everything you guys are telling us is they just wanted to kidnap your child.
And I said that as soon as our child, she has a disability, and I said, you watch, as soon as her Social Security gets into effect, they're going to jerk her right out of our home. And I kid you not, within 3 months, she was out of our home.
I know.
And it's just sickening that They don't care. They've destroyed a family. Destroyed.
Rob and Michelle, what county are you guys in New York?
Oswego.
Oswego County.
They've
Spell
destroyed a
that.
family.
I
A bond.
I even did a
Never got
GoFundMe
back.
account to see if people can help me to come up. I told my story on GoFundMe account.
The judge told her she wanted to see your
If you
child.
want to see your
You better
child
take
again,
it down.
yeah, if I want to see my daughter again, you better take it down.
They're
That's what
bullies.
the judge told her.
That's a bully. See, this is why I said one time, actually more than once, I said judges are stupid. Why? Because what's the definition of stupid? Seeing what? Hearing the truth, seeing evidence of the truth, but you still believe a lie, right?
Yeah.
So judges do. It just blows my mind how they can get away with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how.
Social workers actually. So see, the judges wear the black robes, right? They sit on the bench making decisions, blah 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 blah. But the social workers are the ones who actually have this last say so. The social worker can laugh in your face, get you a certificate, whatever. Say you're the best parent ever,
Yep.
and then
I'll stab you in the back.
they lie under oath. They actually lie to the judge,
What
and
they say?
the judge knows they're lying, and they get away with it. So
And my husband
Yes,
kept
same
telling me
thing
for
I said.
months, he's a babe. My husband kept telling me for months, his babe, don't listen to them. They're lying to you. They keep saying reunification. It's not going to happen. And so me not knowing the system out here so good, as better as he does, I kept going with casework. And there's no doubt they completely took everything from me.
I think you should get a copy of the, at least my opinion. I'm not giving you an opinion as an attorney, but get a copy of your transcripts where the judge said that.
Okay.
That's very important. I don't know how much the transcripts cost in New York. However, it can go between, I don't know, it depends on the pages, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it can go between like 100 and up, 150, 100, I don't know. Depends, right? So get a copy of that transcript and your last minute order and your findings. Social workers have to have a diary. I forgot the name of the word. What's the name of it, Mr. Davis? That they have to record everything daily?
Delivered service logs.
Delivered service logs. I know that in New York you guys have that. Delivered service logs.
Okay.
Because somebody from New York told me that they have it. So I really highly recommend you get your paperwork together and start highlighting everything that is relevant for your case, that is that's going to be helpful for your case, and maybe email it to me and I'll look at it and I will talk to Mr. Davis about it and see what we can do. But honestly, don't give up. Don't give up.
No, we haven't. We're still fighting till today.
No,
till this day, I send my daughter to the phone, even though she don't get there. And I send her messages. I love her. I miss her. I'm still here for her. We're still fighting. So, we're not going to give up, and we're still going to fight.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. The only thing that worries me is that I don't trust court reporters. Only because sometimes I feel like they take out, because there was a case a long time ago where the judge told the mother, basically the judge doesn't even know the mother, doesn't know the mother or anything, but she knows the father through the father's relationship with another woman who's a district attorney. So she knows that woman. So she literally told the mother, shame on you, you will never get your kids again. He's a better parent. And that was like the first day the mother went to court. The first day. And then after the first hearing, the mother and her son saw that the father was hugging the minors counsel, which is the children's attorney, and the other attorney and some other attorney, and they were all hugging and kissing each other, like French, not French kiss, but like on the cheek.
Yeah.
And they knew his name and knew his mistress's name and all that. And the mother's looking at them like, what the? But nothing. Like, what I'm saying to you is that it happens. But then when the transcript, they wouldn't even give the mother the copy of the transcript. They wouldn't.
Right. And that's what we're going to run into. And I know that because when we went to court, like they had us in a room And then court had already started.
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes into court, then they finally come and get us after they all get their story straight.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come and get us.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is a Mickey Mouse court like I've never seen in my life.
Like
Right.
the day when
Court is
went,
court. You go into court. That's it. They don't hide you in a room, and then when they're all ready, then they bring you in.
like the day for my trial for them taking my rights, like the trial started at 10 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, I had my attorney, my daughter's attorney. I mean, everyone calling me.
They must have called 50 times.
Yeah, about 50 times to sign your rights over. I said, I'm not signing my rights over. No.
How does your attorney tell you to do that? I don't understand that.
My daughter's attorney, my daughter's attorney told me, well, just to let you know, you're already going to lose. You might as well sign your rights over. I said, no, then I'll appeal it. He said, even if you appeal it, you're going to lose that too. So it's like, already before we
already told us you lost the appeal.
Yeah.
And it was before the court proceeding even started. I don't understand how we lose the appeal before we even lost court. We got to lose court first. And they're telling us we'd lose the appeal too. And it's just not right.
This is really, really sad. This is heartbreaking.
People just sit around here and they look at it and they're like, oh, that's too bad. You didn't get your kid back, huh?
We even called China. We called all the news. We go on Facebook. We went YouTube, tell my story, everything. I mean, we wanted the news to reach out to us, and they didn't even reach out to us because they don't want nothing to do with CPS.
It's like nobody wants to hit the beehive around here.
No, I understand.
Like you guys are the first person that we reached out to that were able to tell the story.
Never even talked to us about it.
I know. And a lot of people, they judge people who are actually dealing with a CPS case, and they don't know the whole story. But what they hear in the correct. So what they hear in the news, it's all fake. It's really fake. But I was telling Cassandra earlier, a couple of days ago, actually, there's so many stories on the news right now about social workers sex trafficking children in CPS.
Yeah.
There was 2 social workers that were arrested. One was arrested in October of this year, last month. Last month. It was like October 20 something. And then another one was arrested for sex trafficking CPS children. And this is all over the news, by the way, but they don't make it like the center of attention. They don't make it the center of attention.
They said that we put our child in danger. You know, my child has never been through any of the things she has been through. Yes, I am a very protective father. You're damn right I am. That's my child.
She's been white.
I don't understand how they can take my child and then say, look how angry you're getting. You need anger management. No, I need no caseworkers in my life is what I need. We were doing just fine. And I don't understand why the case was open in 2018. Here it is, 2020. From 2018 to 2020, she never mentioned not one word to me, to my wife, to anybody about anger management, about how angry I am, until you took my child. Now you took my child. Yes, I am angry. Absolutely. You took my child for no reason. And I see other parents that are, I'm not patting myself on the back by no means, but, other parents that should not have children, and they have their children. And it's very, like, we see it all the time. She's like, oh, look at.
Robin, Michelle, let me ask you this. Do you guys work?
I know. I get Social Security.
I work construction, and right now I'm not working.
Due to the winter that's coming up.
Due to the what?
The winter. The winter.
Everybody's ramping everything up.
So if you could do something about this.
I mean, right now they're being, the CPS is being under investigation. So, I mean.
For your case?
For a lot of cases.
For a lot of cases.
I'm not sure whether ours is included in that, but the county itself is being investigated because of children dying.
Who's investigating?
I think they got their own investigators. Do you believe that? They got their
I
own
know there's a couple
investigators.
of kids that CPS had their cases open, and a couple of kids died.
They already know how that's gonna
I
go.
mean,
They ain't gonna find nothing. They hire their own investigators to investigate what they want them to be investigate in, and then that's the way the case is closed. Nobody looks at nothing. Everything is fine.
Would you be interested in perhaps writing a book about what's happened to you and perhaps complaining to the federal government, Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division? Would
Absolutely.
you be?
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. I mean,
Anything to get this story out, because I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
no, I never.
The torture they have put us through, and even per se, anything that we had did, okay, let's just say that day that they removed my child, I was high, or she was high. Does it constitute losing your child forever? I mean,
Exactly. That's a good question.
let's just say that this is the way it was. Even though when they removed our child, we did that day, we had a clean urine screen, everything was good, we weren't using. And I said, so how is it that we can't have our child back? After court, I'm telling the lawyers, what just went on in there? Oh, we'll have to next court date.
And I believe the judge. I believe the judge was in cahoots with the caseworker, because the caseworker reported everything to the judge, how bad we were doing and stuff like that. But they forget to mention that my daughter was physically, emotionally, sexually abused in their care. And as soon as I mentioned
none of that was.
Judge told me I can't talk.
None of that was brought out. And as soon as you start talking like that, okay, we're done here.
Yeah.
But if somebody wanted to say something bad about us, all ears. We'll listen to that till the day the battery runs out. It's just, it's always one-sided. I said, how is there a trial where both sides can have witnesses or somebody to speak up for? You can sit here and call me black or poor or whatever. I don't care what they call me. But have evidence of it. I mean, we've been married for 9 years.
They try to say that we've had domestic violence, and we have never not one time, no police report, no nothing. It's just.
Has it in my past? Yes. Is it in her past? Yes. Not since we've been married. We've been married since 2014.
Not ever since we got together. We've been together.
That's
not
what I'm
one
saying.
incident, not one.
And they use that like, I don't know. They just switched everything off.
Did you guys have to sign a safety plan? Did they tell you that if you don't sign the safety plan, that you will never see your child again?
Well, she told me that if I didn't sign it, I would get in trouble by the judge, and I had to sign it. I had no choice but to sign it.
You know, Rob,
they tried to sign off her rights.
Rob, I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
During this experience, you're hopefully Michelle, you're on appeal. Is there any way that you can order up a transcript of all of your hearings?
Yes.
And
yes.
The minute orders from all of your hearings?
I would like to think there is. I would
and,
like to
and
build
all
a
of,
system that
and all
much.
Hold on. And all of the social worker reports?
Yeah,
we have a lot. Like I found a box the other day from papers from 2018 all the way to date, and
of the court hearings, the safety plans. We got it all in the box.
Everything, and you could see where it went, where everything was going good, and then all of a sudden, boom, and nothing changed. There was no reason to do what they did. I mean, because they got a statement.
There is a reason. What people don't understand is, I don't know how much funding they get in New York, but I was told they get pretty good money. When the younger the child is, the more adoptable the child is. Mm-hmm. And like I was explaining to people, there's two different foster homes. There's an adoptive foster home, and there is just a placement foster home. Oftentimes, depending on the age of the child, they would put the child in the adoptive foster home, and they will literally mislead you, to make you think they like you. They make you think it's like, that's why I call them narcissistic people, because only a narcissist will play the game of liking you and then gaslighting you and then then put you aside and dismiss you. And that's exactly how, once you go to court, that's it, you're dismissed.
That's when I remember with her foster mom, she was doing a parent alienation or something like that.
Yeah, she's like she was on the phone one time and she was calling in to be on the phone, and we heard the foster mom tell my daughter, tell her you don't want to talk to her. What person does that to a child? You don't want to talk to your mother.
She's only going on 10.
I mean, she's very easily influenced. Like, the times of our visit would be their pool time. They mean to tell me they can only find time to swim
when it's my visit.
When it's our visit.
They do, but I hear that from guys, listen, I hear that from everybody, by the way. This is what I call gaslighting. Get it? They knew it's your time, but they want you to react. Right. But then when you react on their bullshit, then they call you crazy. Get it?
Right. Then they say you're angry. Or
there you go. And then they say you're crazy. Look at you.
Right. And that's what they did to us.
But they don't see. But that's why I call them narcissists, because they don't see that. They don't care what your feelings are. They don't care who you are. They just
put an order of protection against my child.
Right.
Hey, Michelle
that's
and
Rob, by the way, everywhere.
Michelle and Rob, I have a question for you. Did you guys vote yesterday?
Did I what?
Vote.
Did you vote? No, we did not.
No, we don't vote. I don't.
I didn't have a vehicle to get there.
That's a very bad answer.
I don't vote. No, I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie.
That's bad.
So, Rob, do you know how?
Well, after my luck through the system, I don't have much faith in it.
Rob,
I mean, that's through the family court system, and they're all in cahoots.
Do you know what power you have? The only power you have in life, being a citizen of this country?
They say voting is, you can vote. That's speak up, and I don't have much faith in that because I think they're rigged and they get who they want in there.
Vote red.
It's only because he feels that way only because what we've been through, and it's just.
Well, let me ask you something, Rob, because I got to call you out on this.
No, I understand.
Do you have any personal knowledge that the voting system is corrupt?
Oh God!
Just do I have any personal knowledge? I've been through the system before. Yes.
Yes, we do.
You've seen people.
Yes, I don't have much faith in it.
Okay, I get that you don't have much faith. I understand that. But I'm asking you, have you ever witnessed voter fraud?
No.
A lot of people say things about a lot of different things. They're entitled to their opinion. But one of the things, and I'm guilty of this too, but if you say there's voter fraud and you've never seen it happen,
right?
How can you say that? I mean, think about it.
I probably jumped the gun on that. I assumed
but now I would submit to you that the only power you have in this country is your vote. The only power that you have is getting people like-minded together to vote. Now, on a national scale, you see that all the time. Democrats, Republicans, they all gather and they all vote. They vote together. That's why the U.S. Senate race, nationally is all over the news, because they know whoever controls the Senate is going to wield a lot of power politically. And what do? The Democrats get together and they vote together. Republicans get together and they vote together. What do parents do? Have you ever heard of a group of parents getting together and voting locally, statewide, or nationally? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Right. Now, I've been doing this. I've been doing this over 30 years. I only know of one instance where a woman, a mother who got screwed in CPS court, actually went out and made some changes through the vote, through petitions in California.
That's
And she was quite
shocking.
successful. She was quite successful. Now, what if all of the parents that got, an unfair shake in the CPS system got together and voted and put their candidate in, whose main focus was going to be CPS reform, family court reform? What do you think would happen?
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're going with that. I mean, we have a group up here that we're affiliated with on Facebook. It's Sligo County Corruption, and that she tells a lot of corruption that's going on, and still, I mean, and now she's even people that's posted on there getting threats. She's getting threats by
Right. Hold
cops,
on.
and
Hold on, Rob. Hold on. Miss Cassandra wanted to say something. Cassandra? So first Cassandra, I think, is on mute, and then she's freezing up because of her internet speed. Okay. Can you unmute yourself, Cassandra?
My mute button wasn't working.
Okay.
My button wasn't working.
Okay.
It wasn't letting me unmute myself.
All right.
I'm all trying to unmute myself, and it wouldn't let me.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
What were you going to say?
I was talking about there's actually a group of people that are making a difference and trying to get people to make a difference with the parental rights amendment. And they're trying to get a parental rights amendment going to be part of,
What's the name of the group? Please tell me.
the amendment. I let about it all the time. Parentalrights.org, and it's protecting children by empowering parents. And it's a website that I subscribe to. And right now, the parental rights amendment, it was introduced to the Congress, and it went into Congress. And it didn't make it to be able to be on elections this year, but they're still fighting for that.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they?
There is a group of parents.
Where are they located?
Actually, a lot of people, Cassandra. It's a big group of parents.
Cassandra, where are they located?
It's this group is trying to get it to be this group is located, I think.
Oh, I just found it. They're in
Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia. Do you know how many parents there are involved with this?
No, I don't actually. Just get email and I participate your state representative and
okay, well, I'm going to check that out.
Telling them about the amendment, and they give you a little script even to say that you want.
Hey, Cassandra, you're going in and out. Are you on Wi-Fi or are you on the network? The wired network.
I'm on Wi-Fi.
I'm on the couch.
Okay. We're getting close to the end of our show. Rob and Michelle, I want to thank you both for coming on. I'm going to ask Grace to contact you guys again because I'd like you to come back on.
Okay.
Because there were some things I wanted to talk to you about, and we're running out of time right now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's more to it than, just My mom couldn't even get my daughter. She even filed for custody, and the judge denied her and told her no 3 times, and still, but yeah, we would love to come back on the show.
So when you come back on, by that time I would like to know if you ordered the copy of your legal file, the reporter's transcript, the court file, has the minute orders, has all of the social worker reports, all of that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Miss G, any last closing words?
No, I just wanted to speak about the social worker that was arrested, but I guess some other time.
What do I ask for? Like when I go to the court and ask the minutes, asking for the minutes, or is there?
Do you have a pen and a piece of paper? Because
yes.
Okay. The first thing you want to do is you want to ask for a copy of the court file. That will have all the minute orders and social worker reports. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is you want the copy of the court reporter's transcripts. Now, the good thing is if you do have an appeal pending, all of that stuff would have been prepared and put in a booklet form. And so you can just get that from your appellate attorney. Okay. If not, you're going to have to order it. And I don't know if it was Miss G talking about it or talking about costs for stuff. There is going to be a cost, right?
Okay.
Now, California has something called a fee waiver. And sometimes you can get this stuff, without a cost. I don't know if New York has that, but you might want to ask about that. And the other thing is this. They may tell you you're not entitled to the records because your parental rights have been terminated.
Okay.
And the way at least the law is in California, you're still entitled to the records up to the day your rights were terminated. You get everything on that day and before.
Up to
Now,
the
on that day and after, you may not be entitled to it. Okay. All right. Again, thank you, Rob and Michelle, for being present. I'm going to ask, sharing your story. I'm going to ask Grace, our producer, to contact you because I would like to have you back on the show. And there were some things I wanted to talk about with you, but we've run out of time. Miss G, always a pleasure. Miss G, always a pleasure. Thank you. And we lost Cassandra, but Cassandra, if you're out there in the metaverse, thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see everyone tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay, bye.
Have a good night.